How's it going, people? It's Devon once again bringing you another daily dose of insight and motivation, and I am the doctor of personal change and transformation. Let's talk about it. How do we become who we are? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Have you ever asked yourself the question, how did I become who I am? What? Come on, let's talk about it. How did I become who I am, right? This is just such an amazing question to ponder because it takes us in so many different realms of thought that it can almost get a little confusing, right? But in this video, I'm going to give you guys clarity on how you actually became who you are today, all right? And first off, we must talk about the different levels of this, okay? Because you have a set of people that are more geared to and have a resonance in things called past lives and things like that, and the inner deeper parts of the soul resonances of our human experience that I would actually suggest has a lot to do with the person that we become today, and inheriting some of this, what you may call karma, into our current life experiences that are going to shift and move and direct and guide us into producing certain outcomes in our lives, producing certain experiences in our lives, right? But ultimately, who you are today is a result of the decisions that you have made, all right? And so now that we have a basis of the real reason why you are who you are, it's because of the decisions that you have made. You're in the situation that you are in right now because of the decisions that you have made, all right? We are going to chunk up from this, okay? So in order to make a decision, what do you have to have in order to make a decision? Well, you have to have some type of awareness of the, let's call them options that you can choose, all right? Or we can call those the choices that you have. You have to have an awareness of certain choices, okay? So if the person I am today, let's go with person A, who's a doctor, and person B, who is a firefighter, okay? By a result of the decisions and the choices that they had, and then from those choices, the decisions that they made. So for example, the doctor and the firefighter potentially both had the choice of whether to go to college or not, right? And then after that choice stands even more choices, and based upon which choice was selected, which decision was made, resulted if the outcome was doctor or if the outcome was firefighter. I hope this is making sense for you guys. I hope that this is powerful right here, okay? So, you know, this just brings something else to mind, because you see people that are in almost the exact same circumstance or upbringing or whatever, but they end up so far apart from one another. Their outcome, their results are so entirely different. Why are their outcomes different? Why are their results different when they had the same choices? It's because of the decisions that they made regarding those choices, okay? So you have choices, all right? You have options, A, B, C, D. And out of those options, out of those choices, in order for you to get to whatever perceived outcome or result that you have in mind, or maybe you're one of these people that you don't have an outcome, you don't have a result that you have in mind, so you're just looking at options and choices and making decisions that will ultimately lead you somewhere that you might not even want to be. So first figure that out, so that when you are presented with options and choices, you can make better decisions. Come on, man. Let's talk about it. You have these options, you have these choices, and out of the perceived options and choices that you saw for yourself, you made certain decisions that have led you to where you are now today. Okay? And let's see, could we even chunk up on choices as well too? And by myself asking that question, I'm presented with the idea of our like external influence, right? So we perceive everything through our five senses: sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing. And as we are receiving these million bits of information, our brain is generalizing, distorting, and deleting certain parts of this information so that we receive only what we have deemed as important. Let me just say that one more time. We are receiving millions of bits of information through our five senses. Our brain, specifically the RAS, the reticular activating system, generalizes, distorts, and deletes a very large percentage of this millions of bits of information. It deletes a large percentage of it, it distorts a large percentage of it, and it generalizes a large percentage of it. So we can actually understand what scientists now believe to be +7 or 2 minus units of this information. Now, how do you know what exactly is important for your brain to distort, generalize, or delete? See, you are actually the trainer. You are the teacher. You're the one who taught your brain. You are the one who taught your RAS what to delete, what to distort, and what to generalize so you can make sense of your external reality. You did. But wait, because you weren't alone in this choosing. You weren't alone in this programming of your mind that has resulted in the way that you see the world. Because as you're growing up from ages 0 to 7, the subconscious mind, your brain, is essentially a sponge. And through these five senses, what your brain does is creates file cabinets. And instead of distorting, generalizing, and deleting information, it actually stores information in the file cabinets. So for a period of time, you stored these millions and millions of bits of information. You didn't distort, you didn't delete, you didn't generalize. You stored. And then out of that storage, oh my gosh, you decided through your choices, your perceived choices, the decisions that you made on which of these file cabinets should be kept, which of them should be thrown away, which of them should be pushed all the way to the back, which of them need to be pulled all the way to the front. And now the way that you see the world, the way that your perception is through your five senses, is actually a result of the filtering system of all the file cabinets that were created, that you helped create in your early life. So you ask yourself, how did I get to be the person that I am today, right? So I'll give you guys a very quick distinction on this. And a lot of times we see this aspect manifest itself in the highest quantity in religion. Because most times when you are born into a family that is religious, you automatically adopt that family's religion. I don't think I have heard a family that is very religious. For example, my family was Christian. That when I was born, when I came into the family, they said, okay, so we believe in this, and we are not telling you that you have to believe in that. We will share with you the knowledge and the wisdom that we have gained from this, but ultimately it is up to you to decide if this resonates with you or not. It is up to you to decide to store this in your file cabinet. Come on, man. So we see this the most in religion. And you have to ask yourself, if I am a Christian right now, but when I was born, if my family was Buddhist, would I still be a Christian? Ponder that question. If I was born into a family that was X, If I was born into a family that was X, would I be who I am today? Would I be Y? And I have to believe that the answer is definitely not as black and white as we wish it to be. But I feel I have come to the conclusion that you would have different choices, you would have different perceived choices and options, and based on those options and choices, the decisions that you would now be making would probably not lead you to the same destination that you are right now. And if it did, I am very certain that there would be a difference in time and space. In time, as if, okay, if you were 30 and this was your life, A, B, C, D, health, wellness, income, lifestyle, sense of direction, and then your entire plus 7 years was different. You were born into a Buddhist family and they taught you different principles and things like that. So then you would have different choices, different perceived choices, and you would make different decisions. I don't think that if you made the same decisions that would lead you back to this person, I don't think that they would happen in the same time and space. If that was the case, pretty sure you'd have a completely different life experience. So what are we dealing with now? We're dealing with how do we really become the person that we are today. We realize that in the early part of our years, we had certain teachers, our parents, certain religious leaders, certain influences that are around us that heavily weighed in on our perceived notions of the world and how we intake information. Because we were sponges. We didn't generalize, delete, or distort. We heard everything that was taking place. We saw everything that was taking place. And we absorbed all of it, all of the emotions. And as we grew older, then we learned to place meanings on these ideas or events or situations or thoughts or beliefs. We learned to place a meaning on them. For example, the person who grows up and places a meaning on money that says rich people are evil or money is hard to come by. Money's so easy to make. Money, right? And vice versa, the person who grows up in a wealthy family that's like, well, I've always just been this way. It's just my identity, you know? You say money doesn't grow on trees, but it's always kind of been that way to me. I mean, whenever I have really needed the consciousness, the energy of money, it's just always just showed up. It just always have came. Yes, I've had to work for it, but it just always happens for me. And I don't feel the stress or worry about that area of life. So now that you're going through your own file cabinet and you're deciding, okay, I have this idea, I have this belief, I have this thought, I have this way that I view the world. All right? And based on that, you made choices, you saw choices, you said, these are the choices that I have, you made decisions, and now you are who you are today. Okay? And very quickly, let's talk about where you're going. All right? Where you're going now is going to be a result of the choices that you perceive that you have, the options that you think that you have, and the decisions that you make about those options, the decisions that you make about those choices. All I can say is choose wisely. Choose wisely. And if you want to get more clarity about the choices and decisions, start off from the outcome. Start off from the result that you want to experience in your life. And if you do that, the path will be laid out ahead of you. And just by you already having the outcome or result, just by you selecting that file cabinet in your mind, you're going to see certain choices. And you're going to think that these are my perceived options because that's my result, that's my outcome. If this is my result, if this is my outcome, I can only have this choice, and this choice. What decision am I going to make? And continue that process until you get that, until you become that person, until you do that thing that you want to do, until you have whatever it is that you want to have. And then you'll look around and you'll say, realize the future, baby. Let's get it. Hey, this is a video explaining to you guys how did we become the person that we are today. And ultimately, it is a result of the choices that we had, the choices that we perceived that we had, our options, and the decisions that we made about those perceived choices and options. And that process continued until, boom, You are who you are, okay? I hope you received some value from this video. Watch it a second time, but some of these concepts were a little heady. So it can really sink in, so you can really understand that, wow, I am who I am today because of the ideas, the thoughts, the beliefs, and the actions that I've had in the past. In order for me to have a different future than the one that I am currently experiencing in certain areas of my life, whether it be health and wellness, income, lifestyle, sense of direction, I must now choose, make a conscious decision, right, on what to think, how to talk, how to behave, how to act, what to believe in, so that my path will be directed 100% towards this outcome, towards this result, towards this goal, okay? Continue to realize where you are now, realize where you have been, and now realize the future. Good.
RTF, realize the future. Yeah. Hop in the whip with the Rolex. Getting this money is no flex. You by my side on the apex. At the mountain top thinking what's next. I'ma manifest my dreams, yeah. I'ma do what it takes. I've been moving towards my goals. And Lord knows I made mistakes. Forget that, I won't forget that, no.